So, Mel Clarke, welcome to our VA in the Spotlight today. It's really good to have you here. Another local VA.
Yes, we're theoretically just around the corner, Ingrid.
We are. We're actually just over the river.
I'm just close to the beach, so that's okay.
Close to the beach, yeah, that's absolutely right. So, Mel, you came through VA Institute, and it was fairly recent actually compared to other people. And you started your business, Velocity VA. And I know, for a lot of people who are really fresh, I just wanted to get you to have a chat with me, so that people can sort of see exactly what it's like in the early days, because I know people get a little bit disheartened when they get started, and everyone's different how they set themselves up. But I just want to go through how you've navigated your way to getting clients, and and again, it's early days. So let's talk through that. Talk about kind of how it sort of came about, and what's going on for you right now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you. Well, as you know, it was pretty quick. So I think I did my course early March, so just as the whole COVID joy was all happening. So we didn't really know what was happening then. So I did my course then, and then the world kind of went a bit crazy for me. I have a couple of young kids, so that sort of took over, and I didn't really get to do a lot of my business until probably more around sort of late April, well, realistically, let's say close to June. So I was basically, for me, it all happened really quickly. I'd been setting up my website, doing all the things that we focused on with the course, and just taking my time. I didn't have the speed that, I didn't have to worry about getting up straight away. But, prior to that, though, I think I contacted you probably nearly a year and a half before then.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Sometime, and you were in Newcastle back then.
I was. So I had a look at an email, actually. So it was a good year and a half before I actually did the course. And the reason why I did that is because I just had my second child a little bit from that, and we were looking at relocating after running our own business in Newcastle for about 10 years, which was sort of in adventure tourism. And we just needed a break. So we were selling up our home. We went on the road, went traveling around Australia. And I'm thinking, I've got so much experience, 20 years of experience across admin and corporate finance and business management. And I thought, I love what I do. How can I make this happen? So I went Googling, as you do, and found you, Ingrid. And I was really looking for a mentor. I didn't know about courses or programs. I just wanted to touch base with some people to talk to them. How do you do what we do online and virtually? So that's kind of what sort of started our talk. And then I started thinking, wow, this is going to be huge. And then you went huge with the whole VA Institute in that time, for that short amount of time.
A lot happened in that time, yeah.
Yeah, so much. So when I came back to you, you had all these short courses, and I think Mel was on the team then. So, so it was great. I was able to do the online group short course. It was lovely having other two ladies in there with us, just to bounce ideas in their different backgrounds. But jumping back to it is yes, but from doing your course to actually getting clients was a whirlwind. Like I was up very late at night putting together, finishing off my websites and profiles and packages and agreements and plans and things like that, based on following just all the information you provided. So, and I probably wasn't quite ready for when I first got my client, but it was through the network and yourself and the VA Institute. And literally within about 3 weeks of doing 3 different proposals, I got 2 clients on the same day, or one after the other. Yeah, I know. So that was literally happy financial new year to me. On the 1st of July, I had 2 contracts in my inbox, and off I went. And the third, I just found out yesterday, is probably going to be coming my way. So they took a bit longer because they're sort of, they're probably more of a non-for-profit. So they've got to go through communities and things like, their network. So yeah, so that took a little bit longer there. But that's probably sort of how I got into it. Was more just, I didn't want to go doing the 9 to 5, being self-employed before with my husband, with the business we ran. He's also a builder by trade. My parents have always been self-employed, and I vowed I never would, but I actually love the freedom of it. So yes, you do work up until midnight some nights, but the other day we had to go to Newcastle, and it was just like, yeah, I can postpone that. I can do that. We can do that. Take the fab, let's go. So I like that flexibility, and I love being able to work with different businesses because it's fun.
And pick, I guess, so for you, it's a balance too, because you've got
Yeah,
your family, you've got to be there for them as well.
definitely.
But setting those boundaries around what you can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't like working till midnight every night, but I do it because usually what happens is I'll be doing something and I'll be watching it, and sorry?
That's quiet at that time
Yeah.
of the day. Yeah.
I know, it's when I get so much done between 8 and 12. But till you find yourself when you're doing something you love, or thoroughly enjoy, however you want to position it. And I think it was Joe who mentioned it in one of your other spotlight sessions, is that you learn how to do something and you're Googling or you're YouTubing because you're trying to figure something out. And it's not necessarily, it's not time that you're billing, but it's enjoying learning something new and being able to offer that and being able to help your client get out of a bind or something that they thought was just so overwhelming. And because you've spent your time researching and learning, you can do this. And now this is a new skill that you can offer down the track. So I just sort of think that everything you learn is, in the end, it's a skill, it's a service, you grow, you don't stop.
And so, that's exactly true. And that's what people kind of get a little bit worried about is, the way that they've set their business up is the way it has to be. It's actually an organic process, I think.
Definitely. Like I put down all the skills that I could do and the things that I wanted to do. I took a lot of things off that list. And what I've also found in the last couple of weeks in particular, there's areas that all of a sudden my strengths have just gone that way and my clients have gone that way. And now I've always known what I enjoy, which is more the business management side of it. And that's where it's leaning towards. It's getting these businesses that they've got so much goodness about them and they're so busy, but everything's so manual. And they want to get bigger, but they're too scared because they don't want to, get rid of their really good word of mouth and their branding. So being able to help them find a strategy, find a CRM, find a system that allows them to do more but not be stressed out, because a lot of them have young families themselves.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's fun. I enjoy doing it. Yeah.
I can tell. And to anyone who's watching this, Mel is really fresh. So it's really in the last couple of months that she started to get clients on board. So
yes,
it's not like she's got 6 months under her belt yet. I mean, certainly she set a business up, but it took a little while, and you weren't ready before then, and then all of a sudden like bang, and you hit the ground running. And great. That's often the way we see it happening, and it's little explosions, right?
And it was a good thing because I think it gave me the little firecracker to just, do those few late nights, get that thing happening, not go, oh yeah, I'll get to it. I'm good. That's something I want to do. Like, and since then it's just been hectic.
Yeah.
So, and it's good. And so I've now, one of my clients, and we quickly touched base earlier, they're in the event industry. So obviously with
massively hit in COVID, right?
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. But in looking at it as a positive light, it's allowed us to focus on. So now I've gone down to, okay, well, yeah, we don't want to lose clients. But at the same time, to me now, we like working together, and they don't want to lose me, but they don't want to not be able to lose that cost as well, which is, that's a great relationship to have.
Yeah.
So I'm just sort of saying, well, anything I can think of, and I'm thinking, okay, grants, how can I give them assistance? What can I go looking for to give them something to help to change the structure of their business? So it's not going to allow them to go and buy new products and all that, but it's about business internal development and management.
Yep.
And if that can help fund a bit of me and get them to where they need to be, so when COVID decides to just back off a bit, that when they're going to get really flat chat busy, they're not going to be going, we can't handle this because we haven't been able to get our systems to where we need to be. And now we are triple where we were because we've got all the backlog plus. So, we've had a few chats, and it's something that I want to do for them. It's not something I'm going to be billing as such, because I see that as it's going to benefit myself down the track and benefit other companies. And I just, everyone's had a hard time lately, and I'm fortunate. I know some people rely solely on the income, and eventually I would like to do that, and I need to do that. But right now, I'm just about building relationships, and like you said, it's these these love bombs, or doing something for, and you're not even saying you're doing something for nothing. It's more just if that's your personality and that's what you want to do and can do, then you do it. And if you can't, then you can't.
You're building a relationship really with your client.
That's the key word. It's a relationship. It's a client. And we had a very service-based business before, and customer service was just paramount. And that's what I'm learning. It's the same thing. No one wants to be a number anymore. No one wants to deal with someone offshore. I'm finding that the onshore is a huge benefit, and it's something that we heavily promote. And it's great that you're promoting that amongst the VA industry as well. So
yeah, trying really hard, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Although, it's becoming more and more of a thing that people do absolutely get the relevance of Australian VAs for their Australian businesses.
Right.
But yeah, and it is a big thing. I mean, what you demonstrated with that event company was that you were able to, and which is what we say, is that we're scalable and flexible. So, you're able to scale back and they don't lose you. You're not an employee where they go, we'll see you later. We can't get JobKeeper for you, so bye-bye. It's more than that. It's actually, you're there and you're proving your worth through what you're doing, and it will come back and pay dividends. And
that's right.
And if for them it's hard to kick off and, things don't improve, the thing is you'll have created an advocate for you and your business who will be able to refer you on, right?
That's a great outcome if that's what it is. And like you said, it's more about the relationship, and we are so lucky that we have these roles where we can scale. So if this work is scaling back, we'll keep an open agreement and we'll keep in communication. If I haven't heard from them, that's easy to send an SMS or an email. It takes 5 seconds. And and now I'll start looking through the Find a VA. I didn't even get a chance to start promoting myself to my old network, to LinkedIn, to Facebook, and having heard all this other information plus what we do with the course now, it's like, oh, I actually have time to do that now.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like I'm looking forward to doing that, to see what comes out of it. Chasing business is fun, putting together proposals and showing them your worth. And I think the biggest thing I've learned is, you see a lot about pricing, and you see a lot about people going, oh, maybe I should drop my rate. And I struggled a lot with this, finding out what I wanted to charge. And I think it's probably something I harped on in our course. Like, I don't, and we went through your information, and ultimately it came down to, what was I getting when I was doing my corporate gigs? What was I getting paid? Thinking of the market that I'm in. Obviously we can get work nationally, but international if you want to. But what do I think is relevant for what I can do? And I thought about doing packages, and I thought about charging different amounts for different types of work. So whether it was planning and development, general admin, business management. And in the end, I just came up with a fee, because I felt that general admin, I'm going to get done faster. So they're going to get more out of it for a price. Yeah. Business development and marketing, well, it takes a little bit longer when you're strategizing and having meetings. So I just came up basically with a base rate. This is my fee. This is my fee. I present that in my proposal. So, I do a discovery call, and then I'll send them with a proposal detailing what we've spoken about, providing, showing them what we're going to do, what we're going to talk about. And then that's great to bounce off your service agreement off afterwards. And they can see from then and there, they go, wow, we've just had a discovery call. We've received this proposal. Yeah. This talks about everything we spoke about, how we're going to do it, the proposed plan, what we think it's going to cost, whether it's hourly, packaged, some bits might be packaged. And automatically you've just sold yourself. I don't think, and I think pricing then sort of, if they don't want to pay that, well, they don't want to pay that.
Well, they're not your ideal client.
They're not my ideal client.
And how would you feel if you were getting paid less than what you believed you were worth? And that's
you'd resent it, and you'd end up wanting getting rid of the client.
You would. Been there, done that.
Been there. Yeah.
They're all really valuable lessons. I mean, you said something earlier, which was client service. So, the really focusing in on that. And, people forget that we're like any other business. I think, they assume that it's different. Well, it's not. We do need to do the very best we can do. And I always say, be excellent, stand for excellence in everything you do. But it comes down to a lot of communication too, doesn't it? It's communication that builds excellence, do you think? Or like, what's your take?
I think communication, if you can get it off early, and they can see that you're proactive in how you want to communicate. Like I said to one particular client, look, when I'm available, I'm available. Like I work different hours. But if you send me a message or an SMS at 10 o'clock at night, don't worry, because I'll turn my phone goes on to, no notifications at a certain time of night if I'm not working. And if I'm working at that time of night, I'll message you back and we can have a chat. So they know and I know that we're all flexible. And I said, if it's urgent, we communicate what our urgent, keywords are going to be. But I think communication and level of excellence is the thing we have to remember is we are human. We do stuff up, no matter how excellent we want to be. I think the biggest thing is how you communicate that stuff up and what you do to fix it. And I think most people will accept that. And I think that's the key thing, is that you will make mistakes. We all make mistakes. There's new things we have to learn. And if you communicate that, like you said, that will set a level of excellence that you provide a good level of customer service. You're open when you can't do something. And if they're happy for you to do that, you will. And if not, and what I've loved saying lately is, I'm attached to a great network of VAs. We've all, and I only work with VAs who I know have either gone through your course or have been certified, so I know they have the right qualifications under self-employment and things like that, and obviously have a chat to them. And I've already tacked on a few of my name. I haven't spoken to some of them, but I go, okay, when I come to social media that's out of my realm, I'm going to touch base with that person and see where they're at, and they might be able to forward me onto someone if they're too busy. But I love that I might be a single person or a one-man band, but I had this great network of people that are supporting each other, not trying to take each other's business. And if I found someone like that, well, obviously I wouldn't work with them again. But it really is just using the network that you're creating, and the other Australian ones out there as well, and local ones. There's a great one in Newcastle that I'm enjoying being a part of. And, that's important. And I know that will set me up for long-term success.
And, that's, so for me, 12 years ago when I started, same deal. I met some great VAs in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And they're still colleagues of mine. Like, we still talk to each other, and in some instances refer work to each other. And it's been that thing where I never felt lonely once I was part of a network. I didn't feel so isolated anymore.
Yeah.
It is a really interesting industry, because that was something I never expected, especially in an industry primarily driven by women, right?
Yeah.
And to kind of have this preconceived notion that it'd be a little bit cliquey or bitchy or whatever. But I haven't experienced that ever.
I haven't seen it. I hope I don't. I haven't seen it yet. So I think you're probably the same, is if you do see an environment like that or a Facebook group like that, you tend to just remove yourself. Like, I don't have time for that, to be honest.
No, life's too short. That's what
Agreed, yeah.
So in terms of, your future direction, I know it's a big, look, how do we know? The world is changing. We're living through very interesting times, and we're not sure, we're not sure what tomorrow is going to hold. But, what are your strategies in terms of, your future, and where do you want to be maybe in the next bit of time? What's your goals?
Yeah, look, my goal at the moment, I'm actually excited to now that I kind of really know where I want to focus, is to start targeting my market. And my ideal at the moment is to get a couple of clients, so there's so many hours a week that I want to work. And then I've already started figuring out a few products that I can sell in regards to a package service, because, as you know, there's only so much we can earn being hourly based.
Yep.
So, having what I've done, I've already started thinking of some ideas. So I'd like to be able to sell some projects that are price based, that sort of gives me that little bit of when I can fill in some gaps.
Yep.
And so that's exciting, going down that path. But I think ultimately is to just keep going, just have fun with it, update my website when I need to, work on the social media and LinkedIn. It seems to be a lot of people as having success there, and just sort of see what comes of it. And, keep in touch with the Find a VA, which has been great. I love putting together proposals. I love bidding for business. It's fun. And I would never see or picture myself as someone that wants to sell themselves. But I find when I'm writing these proposals or putting this together, it's just fun. Is that weird? I don't know.
Because you're a creative genius, man.
Well, that's it. You whack on some good tunes and off you go in this little zone that you're bopping away in, or whatever it might be. And you really start thinking, oh, and then we could do this, and then I can do that, and then you start researching something and go from there. So I've digressed. Sorry, my long-term goal.
Good, it's good.
Not to get off track, no. but my long-term goal is just to keep going as I am, adjusting to whatever environment we have, and I think that's the biggest thing, is always having a plan B, Ingrid. Like my life, I've grown up with the multiple scenarios. Is when the hits the fan, you know, what is your plan B, and being adaptable, because I think if you can't, you won't succeed. If you can't decide that I need to upskill or I need to change. So I've got a list here of things that I want to start doing and learning in my downtime. And
Limited downtime.
Yeah, between 8 and midnight. Yeah. And I just want to keep learning. I want to keep in touch. I'd like to start investigating some new forums and hopefully get out inside, you know, to do some one-on-one networking, which we all know is, can be a little daunting. But I think if you go out there with your biggest smile and just a, hey, how you doing? You know, everyone's the same boat. So have a chat and see what we can do and keep growing. And look, I say I never want to have a team of VAs, but I've learned very long ago never to say no to anything. So I'm just going to keep going and adapting where I need to and just trying to be as positive as I can. And on a down day, I look through the VA websites for some little giggles and things like that. So, yeah.
That's good. You've got to keep you up here, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Space.
Yeah.
You did say one thing that I do want to just draw on.
Sure. Uh-oh.
And it was a little while ago, actually, and I don't want to pass this moment up. You talked about, you know, networking with other VAs, right, and building that collaborative connection with people. So that too is something people often don't get. So they think, oh my God, I've got to do everything. I can't do everything. I'm not going to be any good at this. So, you know, and what you're doing, so here I have to take my hat off to you really, because you are building those connections in advance of potential work coming through. Because the worst thing is that we'll get a job lead through to find a VA and you'll see, you know, 2 or 3 people comment and go, hey, can anyone do social media? And you'd be like, why didn't you set this up before? Because you could quickly then jump online together, have a chat and figure out, you know, how you're going to attack this particular job lead.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I just want to say I'm impressed. And has that been an easy thing, or like how did you go about figuring out who you're going to connect?
There's a few that and again, it comes down to what a lot of the other VAs you've interviewed have said, and that is you see who's posting a lot and you get a feeling for the ones that you like that might speak a similar tone to you, and those that have a bit of a joke. I'm when I work, but I like to have a bit of fun too. So, you know, someone that can have a bit of a tongue in cheek and not get too sensitive about anything. So, you know, I think where I see a lot of it happening at the moment is within sort of the smaller VA groups. So there might be suburb VA groups, and you kind of get to know and a lot of them is just seeing those who represent themselves or have spoken in these small little forums about what they specialise in. And I've got my little notebook and I have a chat to them, and I know that when I start seeing those alerts that this might be a problem, or when I spoke to one of the clients and I said, look, I can do these things in social media, but if it comes to this, I am upskilling myself, but if you have an immediate need, then I know of a couple of people that we could get a quote from and have a chat, and you can just liaise with them directly, or you can get me to do it however you want to do it. I'm not in the mood to subcontract yet. I'm not there. So I'll happily just refer, and knowing that that's going to be a two-way street, and deal with the rest of it as the future comes. But I think it's just like you said, you keep a few names, you know, a few people, and even just past job roles that you've had, people that you know, just not outside the VA network. They could just be doing a little bit of freelancing during COVID time. So I think it's like you said, you just got to tap into every little resource that you have and fine-tune it.
Both ways, right? That actually works both ways. So, you know, the people you're connected with can also look to you to provide that complementary support. So it's a good thing to do, you know. So use the networks. So for anyone who's watching this and, you know, they're in our mastermind group or even the Virtual Assistant Australia network, if you're part of that, you know, get to know other VAs and maybe focus in on a more, if you're not too regional like we are, because, I mean, we don't have a lot of people in our area, and where we can, we'll catch up. But, you know, when you're in maybe a more metropolitan area, grab half a dozen, jump on a Zoom call if you can't meet in person, and get to know each other. It's not
and look, I think even if you're a traveler, like as you said, I relocated from Newcastle area, and so, you know, I've joined the VA group there quite early, and some of them are from, you know, Central Coast to Newcastle to here. So I know that I get there every now and then. So I try, and if I hear of a coffee catch up, which there's one today, which I can't make, that's okay.
Yeah, I saw
but if even the I think they did some virtual ones, but just having that network, just knowing that they are realistically close by, I think that makes it a little bit more personable than just knowing who am I speaking to in the big Australia sort of VA network versus, okay, I know the area of Newey, I sort of feel it's a bit closer. So while I get to know obviously those in Taree, obviously there's yourself, and Heidi's here as well, but COVID's kind of stopped us from being too social.
Send emails and SMSs, and and I know it's all a bit
exactly. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
The day will come when we get together.
The day will come. Yeah.
Anyway, no. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you spending the time, because, like I said, you're unique in terms of the people that we've interviewed so far. You are the freshest.
Thank you.
And it's really interesting to hear how it's going for you, and to give people who, a couple of months in, some hope that it's not just because they haven't got someone straight away doesn't mean you won't get someone. Just keep trying, keep putting yourself out there, right?
And it is, and it's use the networks. It just keep going. Just as Dory says, just keep swimming. It really.
Don't give up.
Yeah, exactly.
If you like giving up, call me.
yeah, that's it. Going positive. Like, there is a lot of crap out there at the moment, and it can get you down. Go for a walk. Get on your music. Go get those endorphins, and then come back with a clear mind and reset. And this is, like I said, this situation I had only happened yesterday. And I was like, okay, how is it going to drop? What can I do? How can we work? What's some strategies I can think of them of what they can maybe sell just to keep them afloat during certain, so then it gets exciting because you start getting creative.
Yeah.
And I think when you start letting the little, demons come in, or the gremlins, that's when you kind of, you need to get out and go for a walk.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
With that, I think I'm going to go for a walk now.
I know the sun's come out.
At least I'll go for a walk to the washing line. That's one thing I'll do. Anyway.
But you're one up on me on that one today.
Lovely to chat with you. And like I say on every one of these, and we put them out weekly now, is that, Mel's website will be clearly displayed on the opening slide. So if you want to get in touch with her and have a chat about what she does or find out more, please do. Please contact her through the website. We're looking forward to doing more of these. But thanks so much, Mel. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Ingrid. Have a good day.